PSR Stacks and Facts Week 10 video. I'm joined by my main man, DFS by the Numbers, and Sharpie giving us the prop preview. How are you gentlemen feeling this Friday?
Phenomenal.
Phenomenal? How about you, Sharpie?
I feel great. Great after this dab. Let's get it.
Let's get it. We got a nice little quick episode. We got our boy DFS by the Numbers got a show at 7 o'clock on his channel, so make sure you check that out. So if you see Brady, skedaddle. That's the reason why. Let's get into the first game of the night. Detroit versus Pittsburgh. 8.5-point for the Steelers. Potential precipitation in the forecast for this game, so make sure you monitor that. 42.5 over under report. Chase Claypool is officially out. So we talked about this on Wednesday about Pat Fryer on the Detroit Lions. If you're playing some Detroit Lions, let me know. Ready for this.
Hey, Billy, pull yourself in and out. You're physiating.
But yeah, so this is like you brought up, Freiermuth is going to be my guy. 3,900, way too cheap on DraftKings, especially no Claypool. Of course, there's no Juju, so Freiermuth is going to be the guy I'm going to. Hopefully, it does work out. And then also Deontay Johnson, 6,800. Again, they're missing Claypool, they're missing Juju. He's always been that guy, but now he's definitely going to be that guy. I think he only had like 6 targets last week, which is not great, but I do expect that to increase here. So yeah, really liking Johnson, really liking Freiermuth. And then also Najee Harris is also 7,900 and a perfect spot against the Detroit Lions run defense. So those are the 3 spots I'm looking at. Harris, Johnson, Freiermuth. I like all 3 of them. I'm going to mix and match them this week.
I see exactly what you're
saying.
Billy, your stuff's really bad right now. But I'm on Najee Harris, or at least what I'm looking at is the same thing with you. His rush yards is at 89.5 on DK. Everywhere else, there's a 4-yard difference. They have him at 93.5. So, I mean, shop around, guys. That's the best type of thing to do. His rushing and receiving is at 124.5 at minus 120 on DK. Detroit's the 29th versus the rush, allowing 134 yards a game. And the last 4 weeks with the Pittsburgh Steelers, Najee's had 20-plus carries. So they're using him as a bell cow the last month. The only thing that does worry me a little bit is this a look-ahead spot? This is the Lions coming off of a freaking bye week, and the Steelers have the Chargers in a primetime game next week. So this does scare me to a potential closer game, which means Najee is going to be in even longer. So I like Najee to be in the game the whole game because I think it's going to be a close game. And I'd look towards his rushing and receiving because he is used as a 3-down back.
Yeah, and I feel like they're going to have to, especially this week with no Claypool, no Juju, really focus on him as well. So we'll move on to the next game. In Tampa Bay going against Washington, what's sticking out for you on this one, Sharpie?
It's Tom Brady or nothing for me right now. Washington's 31st versus the pass allowed, 29th in points allowed. So I was looking at Brady's over 2.5 touchdowns at plus 140 at William Hill. And then I started looking into who would you even want to play anytime touchdowns with. You could find Evans and Godwin's both at a minus 110 if you shop around. I'd look more Godwin. The volume that Godwin's seeing is absurd with Brown and Gronkowski out. So then I look towards O.J. Howard and Brate. And O.J. Howard was a plus 280 and Brate was a plus 440. Brate had more targets than O.J. Howard. So I would look to sprinkle a little bit on both tight ends, but I think there's more value on the one they're giving you more plus value in. So I'd be looking towards those guys.
I like it. Yeah, I'm on the same side with you on Tampa Bay here. It's between Tom Brady or another guy for me in cash games. Great matchup against Washington. So there's going to be no Antonio Brown. Gronk's been ruled out as well. So that leaves pretty much Godwin, Evans, and the tight ends you mentioned. Godwin's actually dealing with a foot injury. They're going to test him out on Sunday to see if he does play or not. If he does play, I love Godwin. 7,100. If he does not play, I'm going to have Mike Evans in every single lineup because it's going to be Mike Evans and pretty much Brate, O.J. Howard, and some other guys that I don't think really have an impact. So you're going to be looking out for that. But Tom Brady, Godwin, and Evans are the 3 guys that I'm looking at.
Don't forget about Uncle Benny out there, man.
Man, you got some good service now. Let's go, Bills.
Yeah, I went back to the computer. My cell phone, I guess I placed too many bets this week. It's been a busy day. On the Washington side, though, do you have any love for Ricky Seals-Jones as a run back?
No, I'm going with Freiermuth at tight end. I think Jones is like either more expensive or like right around the same price.
Okay, Sharpie, anything from the prop market you're looking at for this one?
Already hit it. Me and Brady took this over while you were getting yours fixed.
All right, sounds good, man. I should have done it off the computer in the first place. I'm being lazy. Atlanta versus Dallas. Dallas 9-point favorites. Over under here is 54.5. This is one of my favorite games to attack this week. Calvin Ridley's going to be out for this one. Dallas is going to be fully healthy for this one. Another week with Dak Prescott. He should probably look a little bit better than he did last week, because I don't think it could get any worse than it did last week. What are you guys looking at for this one? I'm going to start it off with Sharpie. What are you looking at for the prop market?
Shout out to Calvin Ridley, guys. This mustache ain't here for nothing. It's November, guys. So it's also Movember, guys. Men have mental health problems too. Okay, so talk about it if you need to. Call somebody. Don't do the dumb shit and go kill yourself. People really do care about you. So get yourself together, Mr. Calvin Ridley. This though is my first bet on the board, guys. We're going with Matt Ryan over 289.5 pass yards at plus 100 at Caesars. They had it at 87 or 86. Let's get into why he's going to have 340 plus. He's out of the last 4 games, guys. He's gone up against 3 teams 25th or worse versus the pass. One team being Carolina, they're the second versus the pass. He only had 146 that game. And those other 3 games where 27th, 28th, and 30th, he had 343, 336, 342. Well, guess what? We have the Dallas fucking Cowboys, who are the 25th versus the pass. Matt Ryan is going to throw the ball. Do I know who to? No, I've tried to pick his guys before. It's just been money for me. When I think he's going to ball, he's going to ball. So we're going to take his pass yards over. And yeah, that's exactly the way I'm looking at that one.
Can I entice you by a couple of his pass catchers? One of the dudes that sneakily made my radar this week. I think this is the week that I'm going to play him. I had him circle for a couple of weeks. Former Tennessee Titan, Tajay Sharp, this week at $3,900 on DK, $5,100 on FanDuel Sharpie. I think we're going to get a good value number on him, and I like the matchup for him. I know everybody's going to love them some Kyle Pitts, but Kyle Pitts is finally juiced, and the books are kind of on the Kyle Pitts. I think we could get some sneaky Matt Ryan to Tajay Sharp. Brady, is there anything you're looking at specifically for daily fantasy in this game?
No, I think you guys pretty much covered it all. I'll throw Amari Cooper out there. He had a bad game last week, but going against Atlanta here, he's 6,200, really cheap. I'll throw him out there. I don't mind some Dak as well, but yeah, I think you guys covered it pretty good.
Yeah, I like the Dallas side a lot. Ezekiel Elliott at $7,000 on DK, $8,000 on FanDuel. I thought that was a value. Like you said, Cooper over Lamb just because he's cheaper. And sneakily, I feel like people are going to forget about that Dalton Schultz has been snapping this year, man. He's been one of the best tight ends in the league. And I think that you could definitely go with a viable stack. But let's go talk about the Buffalo.
What? One more guy. Michael Gallup's going to return. He's 4,000. He's way too cheap here.
There we go. I love it, Brady. If you got to interrupt me, let me fucking know, because it's going to be for a good reason.
That's a great reason.
Yeah, that's a great reason. I forgot about Michael Gallup being back. Buffalo versus New York Jets. Buffalo 12.5-point favorites on the road here. You saw what happened last week, them as a road favorite. Do you think the same exact thing happens this week, or are you going to the well with Josh Allen, Brady?
Yeah, what the hell happened last week? I mean, that was horrible. And yeah, it cannot get much worse than that. I kind of felt like people would be more off Josh Allen this week, but I looked at the ownership on Wednesday and it might have changed, but Josh Allen was projected to be like one of the highest owned quarterbacks, which was interesting. But I feel like I'm going to go back to Josh Allen here. Again, it cannot be any worse. I feel like he's going to bounce back. I don't mind some Josh Allen Diggs stacks, Josh Allen Diggs Beasley, maybe some Sanders in there as well. But I think it's a great spot for Josh Allen to maybe get his head out of his ass and wake up this game.
Definitely. I don't think you can play as bad as you did last week. If I had to pick a preferred run back stack for this game, not stack, but a preferred run back player, I like me some Michael Carter with Mike White being back there. I think Michael Carter in the passing game is going to be back and valuable. And Sharpie's raising his hand because he knows it's about to be some Ty Johnson talk. Sharpie, what are you looking at in the prop market?
Nah. We go back to Ty Johnson too. They haven't offered his props yet, but definitely Michael Carter, guys. His reception yards is stupidly low at 27.5 right now at MGM. They need to get smacked. His 3 games with White at the helm, 67, 95, 37 reception yards, bro. Why is it at 27.5 versus a game script where they're going to be down throwing the ball? This is just stupid. The books need to be punished for that type of crap. And then the other flip side, Jets are 27th for the rush, 30th versus the pass. Like, they should be down. They should get way down. And Allen's rush props at 32.5, minus 114 on DK. He's hit this 6 out of 8 games, guys. And that's the way to play the Bills props wise, dude. It's so hard picking who, what, when, where, and what. Well, Josh Allen runs the damn ball and hits this prop. So that's just the way I got to go with that.
I like that analysis, Sharpie. Next game here is going to be New Orleans versus Tennessee. Tennessee 3-point favorites over the New Orleans Saints. Over under here is 43.5. I'm going to break this one down because this one's pretty straightforward. Alvin Kamara is going to be out for this weekend. So that pops up Mark Ingram. Yes, Mark Ingram is going to be the starting running back for the Saints this week. $4,500. One of the best value plays on the board this week behind the Ernest Johnson that we'll talk about later on. And $5,500 on FanDuel this week. And yes, if we don't play Pat Freiermuth this week, I will be stacking Mark Ingram with the tight end Adam Troutman. $3,000 on DK is way too cheap this week. $4,700. I think Adam Troutman is going to be a part of this passing game with Trevor Siemian being there. And then on Tennessee Titans injury report, we're going to have to follow this one Sunday morning. Julio Jones is listed as questionable. If he were to miss, that would bump up A.J. Brown even more than where he's already at. $7,800, $7,600. Is there anything that I missed in this game that you guys will want to go over? Because I don't even think the props even came out for this game yet.
Nope. Mark Ingram game this week.
Might be a Mark Ingram anytime touchdown day, Sharpie.
Same thing I look for when I play against the Saints. Saints are really, really good versus the rush. They suck balls versus the pass. So Ryan Tannehill's pass yards was at 245.5, minus 105 at BetMGM. I need Julio Jones, though, for that. I don't care if he's a decoy or not. I got to have those two studs out there because they're not going to run the ball. That's just not going to happen. I think they're going to go to full-blown pass attack on this team. So I think it's Tannehill's pass yards over.
I would agree, Sharpie. I would agree. Jacksonville versus Indianapolis Colts. The Colts are 10.5-point favorites. Over under here is 47.5. Injury report for the Jaguars. You're going to have to monitor this one. It's the common theme this week. James Robinson is listed as questionable. And on the Colts, I feel like everybody's really healthy on the Colts. What are you guys looking at for this one? This one was a pretty particular game that caught my eye on Wednesday because of Jonathan Taylor's price tag on FanDuel this week. Highest priced player on the slate this week for FanDuel, him and Najee Harris up at the top, and deservedly so because those are by far and away the two best running back plays of the slate. But what are you guys looking at for this one? I'll start it off with Brady.
Yep, it's going to be Jonathan Taylor and really nothing much else. Great matchup against Jacksonville. They're at home. They're favored. I mean, he's been on fire. I don't think he's had less than 20 DraftKings points since like week 3. So they're getting him the ball. You can't ask for a better matchup. Give me Jonathan Taylor and as many lamps as I can get him in.
Do you like Michael Pittman's price tag at $6,300 on DraftKings? I thought that stood out to me a little bit.
Yep, he's in a great spot as well. I think he's fine.
If you had to pick a Jacksonville wide receiver to run it back with, who would you pick?
Nobody.
They're in a good spot, Brady. They're in a good spot.
Give me Agnew if I had to pick.
Yeah, I like Agnew's price tag as well, $4,500, $5,300. He's been used as kind of like the gadget guy. They've been giving him manufactured touches, and you know what? That's something that you can't really go overlook. Sharpie, anything that's catching your eye in the prop market, or is this more of like a late ad prop market game for you?
Yeah, I didn't freaking touch this shit one bit, dude. It's either pound Jonathan Taylor and then try to probably play his 2 touchdown prop or something, but the only thing to add on to what you guys said is Jaguars upsetted the Bills last week. Last year, week 1, Colts were a 13.5-point favorite and lost to the Jaguars. I don't think the Colts take this game lightly. I think they come out and pound this
divisional game too.
Yeah. So just throwing that out there.
Yeah, I like that little tidbit, Sharpie. I kind of forgot about that. Cleveland versus New England Patriots, -2.5-point favorites for the Patriots. A lot of injury news in this game. 45-point over-under here. Browns injury report. Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt are both going to be out. Big news this week with Odell Beckham Jr. going to the Los Angeles Rams. Now they have Cooper Kupp, Odell Beckham Jr., and Robert Woods. That looks like a Madden wide receiving core that you get out of free agency, to be honest with you. But for the Browns, man, you know where we're going with this one. D'Ernest Johnson, best running back play of the slate this week. But is there anything else that's catching your eye in this game, Brady?
Nope. Chubb's out, Hunt's out, and even what's his face? John Kelly's out. So yeah, Johnson's gonna be the guy. We saw what he did the last time. He was the only running back for the Browns, 146 yards against Denver. And he also had one or two touchdowns as well. So yeah, give me Johnson here, $4,700. It's hard not to play him.
I actually figured out why Big Show and MMA Locker Room are big Valerie Loretta fans. You know who her husband is or her boyfriend?
Who is it?
Donovan Peoples-Jones. And if Valerie Loretta wins me my money tonight, I am going to have to put her boyfriend in the lineup because he's been absolutely smashing these last couple of weeks. I know Jarvis Landry is going to catch some ownership. Well, I'm going to take the ownership discount and play Mrs. Valerie Loretta and Donovan Peoples-Jones at $4,800 and $5,600. It wouldn't be right if we had Bellator on in the background right now and we didn't add Donovan Peoples-Jones to the player pool this week. On the Patriots injury report, we're really going to have to monitor this one because we might get more value. Damian Harris and Ramondre Stevenson are both listed as questionable with the dizzies. So Brandon Bolden could potentially be a value play at $4,400 on DK, $5,100 on FanDuel, and a guy that I would definitely look at in the prop market, Sharpie. And Hunter Henry as well, $4,100, $5,400. I know the running back doesn't directly correlate to that tight end getting more targets, but I think they're going to have to use him a lot more without their star player in there. And you know what? I'll take a gamble shot at Hunter Henry at $5,400, especially on FanDuel if Pat Fryermuth's ownership goes through the roof. But Sharpie, as he hits the dab, what are you looking at for this one in the prop market?
Really, it's all about those New England injuries for me, and I'm not going to bet it until I see who's in or out. But I'm going to stay off of D'Ernest Johnson for me, prop-wise, because Belichick knows that's the way to beat him, and he's going to make Baker meet him in my eyes. So I see them stacking the box.
Volume. I think he gets enough volume.
DK wise, all that's different than me wanting to go bet a guy's rush yards or his props.
Let's say if his receiving yard prop is at 31.5, would you bet the over?
I'd have to go dig through some stats and see how he was used last time.
Okay. Like on the Thursday night game, I remember.
But it's also coaching, bro. Belichick is a monster, dude, and he understands if you stop D'Ernest Johnson, Baker Mayfield can't beat me.
Well, then it really might be Mrs. Valerie Loretta Day because Donovan Peoples-Jones could definitely be the one sneaky guy that could bust off for a big play in that game because I definitely will agree with that. Belichick does a good job of taking out the best thing that the other team does well. But Carolina versus Arizona, huge favorites. I feel like there's all big favorites on this card. It feels like I'm looking at a college football card, not an NFL Week 10 card. But they are 10.5-point favorites, even listed with the questionables of Kyler Murray, DeAndre Hopkins, rookie Rondell Moore, and Chase Edmonds out. So I don't know how they're 10.5-point favorites, but that just shows what the sports books think of Phillip Walker, my boy from Temple, former XFL quarterback who's going to get the start this week for the Panthers. Cam Newton actually just got signed to the team, but they did confirm that Walker will be the starting quarterback this weekend. Is there anything that's really catching your guys' eye in this game besides James Conner, the obvious play in this one with Chase Evans being out, Brady?
Yeah, I think James Conner, I was higher on him earlier in the week, but now that we have Mark Ingram and Johnson, I just would rather
way more value.
Yeah, so not going to have a ton of Conner, but I can't say he's not in play. I think what's interesting, though, is Christian McCaffrey. Last week, I thought he was going to be a little bit more limited. They actually gave him 18 total touches, 5 targets as well. He's 8,400. It's just crazy to think about. Like week 1, he was 9,500. Week 2, he was 9,900. And now he's 8,400. And nobody seems to be on him this week. Last time I checked, he was coming in projected like the 18th highest owned running back. So I think I'm going to take some shots on McCaffrey at some low ownership here.
Yeah, I think I'm purely playing GPPs this late into the season. And as I slept on it for a couple of days, Brady, you definitely are right. I could definitely see Christian McCaffrey hitting value at $8,400 and being somewhat of an ownership discount compared to the stub running backs. Let's talk about some of these stub running backs, though. Before we do talk about the stub running back, Sharpie, what are you looking at in the prop market in this game?
Man, it's strictly going to be PJ Walker's rush yards, dude, and I'm going to look to play McCaffrey's rushing and receiving. They're not going to adjust to it. They keep undervaluing him every freaking week. So, with a running quarterback, I think that helps McCaffrey a fuck ton, and they're both going to be able to get to the outsides against this team, I think. And yeah, I think he's going to be running for his life anyway. So, PJ Walker for the rush yards, baby.
Yo, PJ Walker's rush yards, dead ass though, Sharpie. I'm definitely going to circle that one and wait for that to come out Sunday morning. But before we head into this Minnesota and Chargers game, quick shout outs to the sponsors over at Manscaped and at Southtown 101. When you're in the San Antonio area, make sure you visit Southtown 101 and check out Jeff Slaughter's bar. Let's get straight into this Minnesota and LA Chargers game. Chargers are 3-point favorites at home, 53.5-point over under, one of the highest ones on the board this week. Definitely the game that you went back in this one. Brady, what are you looking at for this one specifically? Are you into the Dalvin Cook bandwagon? Because I don't think he's going to – I think he's going to play this week fully fine. And, maybe we're overreacting. Instagram just, on Instagram, it looked bad.
Yeah, the only problem with Dalvin Cook is I'd rather, save 100 and get Harris. I'd rather go up in 100 more and get Jonathan Taylor. I'd rather get McCaffrey. I think it's a fine play to get leverage on the field. I don't think anybody's going to have him with all those plays out there. But, for me, I'm kind of more looking at the Chargers side. I think Keenan Allen, 7K is an interesting spot. I think I talked about Keenan Allen every single week. Lots of target upside, lots of reception upside. And then, interestingly enough, Mike Williams is now cheaper than Keenan Allen.
Fucking finally.
Could be the spot to potentially go to some Mike Williams. I mean, I didn't want to play him at about 8K, but now at 6,600, I think he's worth some shots, right?
Dude, fucking finally. When I just kept on seeing Mike Williams being priced higher than Keenan Allen, I was like, all right, dude, what's up with DraftKings and FanDuel this year? But Minnesota-wise, we talked about this in the Discord on Sunday morning, man, and I got onto this stack pretty late. I think we're going to go back to the well with the Captain Kirk stacks this week. Captain Kirk to Justin Jefferson and the choice of Adam Thielen or Tyler Conklin at a punt tight end position. But Sharpie, what are you looking at for this one from a prop market standpoint?
I know it's 3 minutes till your show, Brady, so do you want to say bye or anything like that?
Yeah, I'll just quickly touch on the last two games and head out of here. So Philly, Denver was going to be a complete pass for me. And then the Packers-Seattle game, I was looking at Devontae Adams. If Rodgers does come back, and it looks like he is, and now that we have Johnson and Ingram, it makes it so easy to go up and get Adams. So, yeah, guys, that's about it. Thanks for having me on. Good luck to everybody in their action. And, we'll see you soon.
Yes,
see
sir.
you, Brady. Enjoy
right,
yourself. Make sure you check out Brady. Get ready for UFC Vegas 42.
Appreciate that. See you guys.
Yes, sir. But let's get into these props.
They left Village Sharpie on this. This is about to get real dark and creepy now, man, with the prop market the last 3 games because I got some shit in that Philly game.
Well, let's get to this Charger game, guys. So, Dalvin Cook over 91.5 rush yards, minus 115 on DK. Chargers are 32nd in the league, allowing 161 yards on the ground per game. Like, absurd. They can't stop the rush. They can't stop nothing. So we're going to pound Dalvin Cook. And someone in the Discord, I wasn't sure if it was Billy or Show who brought it up. Where's the perfect place for a man to forget about all his fucking problems? The field. The football
Especially
field.
running back. God.
Hey, Dalvin Cook is going to eat, and he's going to eat. So I'm looking to smash him. That bet is a guaranteed place one for me. And then we're going to the other side, guys. The Vikings are 30th versus the rush. They're allowing 136 yards a game. Well, Eckler's yards was at 60.5 rush yards, and his receiving yards was at 37.5. So if I looked at his rushing and receiving over at Caesars, they had it at 100.5 at -110, and it was only a 3.5-yard difference in both combined. I see 10 yards a lot of the times, and that to me is value on a guy who can get 7 to 10 targets in a game. So I expect him to get a heavy dosage on the ground and anywhere from 3 to 8 targets. So I'm going to go with Eckler over 100 yards and a half. Rushing and receiving.
Okay, Sharp. You definitely should do a little bounce back for shitting our pancakes last week against the Philadelphia Eagles. I was pretty pissed playing Austin Eckler. I thought I had myself on the late night games, and he ended up putting a pooper up. But Philadelphia versus Denver. Denver are 1.5 point favorites. Might be throwing a side bet on the Broncos this weekend for 45.5 point over under in this one. One of my favorite plays of the week this week is going to be Melvin Gordon. I told Big Show last week when we're in Discord Sunday morning, and I said, dude, I'm going to play Melvin Gordon. He said, man, what are you smoking? And I said, well, I'm smoking good tree. And he ended up getting 21 carries and a touchdown on the first drive.
Pop on the show, Big Show. I think we have someone here.
Pop on the show.
All right, give me a sec.
I love how Melvin Gordon looked last week, dude. He got 21 carries, 80 rushing yards, a rushing touchdown, 2 targets in the passing game. I think it's a better FanDuel play than an actual DraftKings play. I know there's going to be some value running backs here we're going to like this week with Brandon Bolden, Dearness Johnson. But if we get Melvin Gordon again at 1% ownership, this is probably one of the best running back matchups in the league against the Philadelphia Eagles. They allow the most rush attempts in the league, man. I feel like Melvin Gordon, I hate the fact that Melvin Gordon's being used, but I love Javonte Williams so much that I recognize that Melvin Gordon's being used so much in the red zone. He's dominating the red zone usage for the Denver Broncos right now, and I think the Denver Broncos beat up on the Philadelphia Eagles, Sharpie. Am I crazy, or what are you thinking for this one?
I think you're crazy with that Melvin Gordon talk, but if you're talking 1% ownership, I don't know shit about that type. You need to talk to the man right there about that 1%.
Big Show, what do you think about the Melvin Gordon thoughts? Because it's about to get even deeper after this.
It was fuck Melvin Gordon last week. Still fuck Melvin Gordon this week.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fuck Melvin Gordon, okay? Because Javonte Williams over 47.5 rush yards -114, guys. Okay, let's go to the guy who should hit, bro. Let's go to the guy who should be carrying the ball, who's averaging 5 yards a carry, guys. He's hit this number 4 out of the last 6 weeks, bro. So, like he said about how crappy this Eagles team is versus the rush, the real bell cow on this team is Javonte Williams.
You're not going to tell us. We know this.
Yeah, we know this.
You're the
truthers. Who the hell are you
Javonte Williams truthers, man.
Dude, that's the reason why I'm playing Melvin Gordon, because they're not using Javonte Williams correctly, bro. It's frustrating.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't get why that's why I was against you last week. I'm still against you.
Big Show said it yesterday perfectly on the Thursday Night Football. I know we're talking about the main slate, but let's go back to the Thursday Night Football show. And, man, Show said this quote perfectly. Some of these teams just don't follow analytics, and the Denver Broncos are one of them, man.
Hey, but my other favorite play, they haven't posted it yet, guys, and I went the ass end wrong way versus the Eagles. I tried to pick the touchdown and with the tight end versus the Chargers and Eagles game last week, and every other fucking tight end scored but the one I played. So we're going to go Noah Fant receptions, whatever the hell it is, Big Show. We're looking for the latter, okay? Here and why. Eagles have allowed the most receptions to the tight end position in the whole league. So at the end of even Cooks last week ended up with like 8 catches. So his catches was at 2.5. So if you like, it's just something worth looking in. He is going to get those targets. Bridgewater loves throwing to his tight end. And like you said at the very beginning of the year, they're running that Tampa 2. So they're allowing everything underneath to get dropped off. That's the tight ends and the slot. So who plays the slot for Denver? Is that Judy? Or is it,
to be honest with you, probably Tim Patrick?
Yeah,
is it Patrick?
It's
going to be a Patrick day then too. Those are the 2 we're going to roll.
Big Show, I feel like you're more equipped about the Denver Broncos receiving core because you're a Cortland Sutton truther. What are your thoughts and opinions on the Denver Broncos core?
1 sec. Let me pull it up real quick.
Yeah, no doubt. But I got a hot take coming after Big Show talks some
Hey,
about
Go
this.
ahead, give the hot take.
Speaking of your Mike Williams, I don't think it's the right spot to play him versus the Eagles. Like you guys said, I believe you guys are top 5 versus the deep ball. It's
They're
you
not
guys
playing the
allow a.
Eagles, they're playing the Vikings.
Oh, damn, I'm stoned. All right,
Yeah,
cool.
that's the reason why we're playing Mike Williams, because they're not
Yeah.
playing the Eagles anymore.
That was that second dab.
For a DK purpose, I kind of like picking either one of these wide receivers and pairing it up with the defense because it has shown some stats that defense paired with a wide receiver is winning some tournaments these days. So Cortland Sutton in Denver is not a bad choice. I mean, on the Philadelphia side, I kind of like if I was going to go cheap at 4,900.
Say it.
Grego Scott.
No, man, it's Jordan Howard week, man. There is a man out there back in the day. He got a contract for the Chicago Bears, and he absolutely epically flamed out, man. It's Jordan Howard week, man. Dude, he got 17 rushes last week against the Chargers.
The Chargers suck.
But he's the bell cow.
He just looked better too, though. If you watch the game, and I did because I had Scott props, he looked better at that game. I think they're going to ride the hot hand.
I think they're going to ride the hot hand, but I think the hot hand really is Jordan Howard, man. I like his price tag. I think a lot of the ownership this week is going to come in on Dearness Johnson, Brandon Bolden potentially, and stuff like that when you're punting down at the running back position. If you really think about it, bro, view perspective-wise, if the Eagles are going to be 1.5-point underdogs in this game, that means Vegas is saying that the Eagles are going to score and keep this game close in the altitude, and the best thing to do in the altitude is put the bell cow heavy running back like Jordan Howard inside the game, man. I think this is a good spot for him, and we're going to get him literally at 1% ownership.
Yeah, I kind of like the Denver side on either game script you're talking about. Whether they're up and I got the wide receiver core and the defense, I'm pretty comfortable with that. Or if we do get some Melvin Gordon run time and maybe the defense.
It's crazy because this could be a sneaky mini stack where you take like 2 or 3 pieces out of this game and they're all in the 4 o'clock slate, and then the rest of your team's is 1 o'clock guys.
Yeah, if you need another like wide receiver, this is kind of a weird game to pull them from.
Yeah, I don't think people are going to want to one-off this game.
Not at all.
But last game of the slate is Seattle versus the Green Bay Packers. Green Bay Packers are 3-point favorites. How? I don't know. I think I'm probably going to be betting Seattle. Over under here is 49.5. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to be out for this one again. Russell Wilson has been activated officially off the COVID IR. Not officially, but once Saturday night comes and the Shefty bomb comes, he was at practice and he's playing on Sunday. Do you think what are your thoughts? I'm going to go to Big Show first. What are your thoughts on playing the Russell Wilson, the DK Metcalf, and Tyler Lockett stack? Is it back and viable this week, or are you going to wait a week to see Russell Wilson? Because theoretically on paper against the Packers without no Jordan Love, this should be a Seattle smash spot.
Yeah, I kind of agree. What the first thing I would look at in this game is if you got pieces in the early games that you really like, and you set yourself up to have this as your hammer as a stack. I always love that. I'm always a fan of it. You get the excitement of the win with so many points rolling up, like especially if they go off, and we know this offense can go off. I don't know whether it's going to be a 2-piece or a 3-piece, but on the other side, I do like AJ Dillon.
Ooh, AJ Dillon over Aaron Jones. Oh man, Big Show. I played a receiving prop last week, and when I capped it for Green Bay running back to get over 30.5 receiving yards really easily in the first half. And it ended up being AJ Dillon. And like, is AJ Dillon really like becoming a thing?
I mean, he's fit a role, man, and he's stayed healthy. That's the main thing you can ask out of your running backs these days. Stay healthy, fit a role.
I hate to wish injury upon somebody, but I know we have some AJ Dillon shares in best ball on DraftKings, so Aaron Jones get hurt soon, man. Because I don't think Patrick Mahomes is playing well, and Russell Wilson was out a couple of weeks. So I don't think those best ball teams are doing the
So
best.
if Aaron Rodgers is probably not playing,
I don't think he's playing.
If he plays, you got to go with Devontae Adams and him.
If he plays, you got to go with Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
The line saying right now he plays -3 says he's in the game, dude.
Yeah,
COVID says he's not.
We capped this game last week. It's the Baltimore Minnesota game where you don't know which quarterback and which wide receivers to pair it with, but it's probably in there.
I think that Minnesota Chargers game, because I know you're always backstage. So what were your thoughts on the rest of the games?
Well, let me finish the Seattle game real quick.
I forgot about going to Sharpie.
Yeah, it's all good. But like you said, with 4 games in there with Russ, Lockett yards right now is at 66.5 minus 115 on DK. And 2 out of those 4 games, he had 100 and then he had 178. So I'm looking to ladder that shit, dude, because if he hits this 66, he's going to smash this 66. And where'd we learn ladders from? This guy up here. And why are we going to take what the books offer us when we know this guy has the potential of a 180 and a game with, if Aaron Rodgers is in, could be back and fucking forth. So, yeah, I'm looking at Lockett but I want Rodgers in and
I think
Adams.
It's a Lockett week too. I'm with the Lockett vibes too.
I mean, there's 3 wide receivers in this game you could literally ladder with, and they're all commonly used in my ladders. Like, these are the 3 guys.
Devontae Adams is the reason why the ladder even exists.
Yeah, Devontae Adams is the way the ladder exists, man. And Luka, perfected it for me. But
is there anything else on the other games that you talked about that we're talking about that caught your eye? I know you're talking about the Cardinals situation with their wide receiver core potentially being out without DeAndre Hopkins, Kyler Murray, and Chase Edmonds. You said AJ motherfucking Green week. Would you like to talk about that a little bit more?
I mean, if there's injuries in that wide receiver core, we know who the most knowledgeable wide receiver is in that core. Like the guy with the footwork, the guy, him and the
dude with the best resume.
Yeah, he's got the best resume, and give me that guy when you need a guy.
Yeah,
if you're laying down, that's the guy I want to call up from the the Bears.
And then I know we didn't talk about the Devin Singletary situation, but I think that there's a lot of injury news on the slate where, like, usually, like, you know how, like, early in the year, like week 1, week 2, you can build your lineup on a Friday and not really much is going to change on Sunday. With the way these slates are going later into the year, COVID's coming back into the picture, and I think it's more better for your lineups to do it as close as lock as possible for every daily fantasy contest, because these injury news reports are coming fast and furious. And honestly, a couple of these injury news reports could bounce different ways. And we figured out the reason why you really like Donovan Peoples-Jones. I was doing some Bellator research last night for my Bellator picks and stuff like that. And I was stalking Valerie Loreda's Instagram. If there's Instagram to ever stalk, would definitely Valerie Loreda. Guess who her husband is, or boyfriend, boo thing, whatever you want to call it. The young folks say it.
I was backstage when you were talking.
Donovan Peoples-Jones. What are your thoughts on that? Like, that threw me off. I did not see that one coming.
Shit happens, dude. I don't know what to say about that. Like, he met a girl and he liked it.
I mean, I would love Valerie Loreda. If I had a Valerie Loreda in my life, shit, we'll save that for another day.
You definitely work out harder, huh?
Oh, yeah. We wouldn't be this skinny. We'd be in the gym right now on a Friday night. But Sharpie, anything in the prop market that we didn't go over already? Shouts to everybody that's been in the chat and has commented. We got Tenjok. I can't even say that. John Kazenlick. I'm really bad at pronouncing names. Dutch Boy Fresh. Shouts to my boy Dutch Boy Fresh. See y'all Phyllis spitting knowledge. Salute. But Sharpie, what are you looking at in any of these prop games that we haven't gone over? Because we went through that pretty fast. I feel like there's been like 2 episodes in this one episode.
Nah, I pretty much touched everything I wanted to touch, bro. My favorite bet is Matt Ryan. No homo. Jesus Christ, bro. But yeah, we went through every game. So yeah.
Matt Ryan?
Huh?
You said Matt Ryan.
You said Matt Ryan?
Matt Ryan here. Were you not in the backstage for right?
Tajay Sharp.
Tajay Sharp. I like it. Sharpie with a sharp bet.
Hey, Sharp is tattooed on my back, bro. I didn't go through that because that's my name, bro. That's my cousin.
All jokes aside, though, he really has been the number 1 wide receiver for that team. It's just weird because if you fickle in all the pass catchers, theoretically the number 1 receiver is Kyle Pitts because he runs the most routes, and then number 2 would be Cordell Patterson, and then number 3 is theoretically Tajay Sharp.
But My best bet is going to be Matt Ryan over 289.5 plus 100 at Caesars. Here, were you not in the backstage show?
I wasn't. No.
If not, here and why. Dallas is 25th in the league versus the pass. In the last 4 weeks, Matt Ryan has gone up against 3 teams that are 25th or worse versus the pass. He's got 343, 336, 342 versus those teams. Yeah, and it's versus the Cowboys where they're supposed to be down 7 to 10 points. They can't run the freaking ball anyways.
Tell me, doesn't that feel like a Ezekiel Elliott to Dalton Schultz run back with Matt Ryan?
That's like that's like one of my favorite stacks this week, actually. I was telling you that on Monday, I think.
Yeah.
But I think it might be, the Zeke, and because that it is performing. It is winning tournaments. So that's what I
honestly, I've been doing it recent, and it's been helping my lineups out a lot more.
Yeah, if you don't know where to get the information, like there are certain spots out there that give out information on how and what wins these lineups, depending on which slates numbers there are. You got to get out there and find them.
Definitely.
Out what's working.
Before we get on out of here, as usual, as we do, your favorite play of the slate, conviction play of the slate, and your GPP play of the slate. I'll start it off. Best play of the slate. Obviously, he's going to be Dearness Johnson. I know Sharpie, it's a bad spot. Bill Belichick does all this good stuff. But Dearness Johnson at that price tag, he's just going to be used in the passing game. Just a great PPR play. Conviction play of the week this week. Man, I'm going to have to do it, dude. The stack of Mark Ingram to Adam Troutman. Nobody's going to have Troutman with Ingram, and Ingram's going to be chalk this week. Ingram's probably, honestly, the best play of the slate with Alvin Kamara being out, to be honest with you. And then my favorite GPP play this week, man, I'm going to have to do it. I'm going to have a lot of Tom Brady this week. I'm going to play me some Terry McLaurin. Big Show. Favorite play this week, convictional play of the week, and favorite GPP play.
Well, since I didn't practice for any of this, I'm just going to give you a quarterback, a running back, and a wide receiver.
That's fine.
All right, so I like Dak Prescott as my quarterback. I think it was at 6,900. I like DK Metcalf as my wide receiver.
I like DK a lot too.
And then I'll give you 2 for I like AJ Dillon and Devin Singletary.
Okay, we're getting I think this is one of the greasiest NFL slates of the year, and it reminds me of like an NBA slate. And I've been smacking these NBA slates, so I'm pretty hyped for this one. And we have an early UFC card, so make sure you guys hit the bell notification on the way out so you get notified for all of our live videos, and hit the bell and hit the like button on the video. And Sharpie, last man, we're gonna switch it up for you. Favorite prop play this week. Favorite anytime touchdown, and the sharp play of the week.
You're killing me, bro. I don't know about all that, but I already told you Matt Ryan, bro. Matt Ryan is my favorite play, 289.5, and ladder it if you like. The next favorite conviction, lock me up, call it whatever you want, dude. This one's going to hit. Convictional. Michael Carter reception yards. Michael Carter reception yards over 27.5, guys. He's got 67, 95, and 37 with White at the helm, and they have it at 27.5 versus the Bills, who stopped the rush and should be up by 14 the whole game.
Speak that shit with conviction, Sharpie. I like that.
Yeah, freaking conviction, dude. I don't understand why it's 27.5, and he's going to smack it.
What's the off the radar play this week?
Off the radar.
What's the Rex Burkhead play this week? Because
the one that didn't cash last week. Burkhead lost by 4 yards. Dude, I'm mad at him. Oh, I had the worst week of my life though last week, so we're going to build off of that.
Thursday night football game ever.
This one's going to be the Discord play. Okay, this one was from. I believe it was Big Show who did say this, but Dalvin Cook over 91.5 yards, guys.
Max.
Okay, he is going to show up and forget about all that little drama going on, and he's going to fucking smash versus the team that sucks.
Fuel.
So, yeah, I expect Dalvin Cook to have 200-plus yards versus this Chargers team. Old school Adrian Peterson status. He is going to break some 80-yard touchdowns because the Chargers can't stop a leaking faucet. So, Dalvin Cook, hammer and nail to the wall. Rush yards.
Did you say don't do it?
You can do it.
You can do it. All right, on that note, we're out. See you week 10 UFC stream early tomorrow, 1 o'clock East start for the UFC show tomorrow. Make sure you guys tune in Wednesday night, 6 p.m. You know, we started a little bit later. We're probably going to have to start a little bit later with NCAA nowadays. But if you want to follow Sharpie's prop bets, make sure you follow him over at Sharpie Bets. And if you want to make some real plus money, y'all folk be betting some chalk parlays. You want to get some real plus money and get some ladders, follow Big Show Picks over on Twitter at Big Show Picks. And if you want to get some greasy fights from me, yes, we're betting Luana Juju. I said it on the show. We're gonna hit the end button right
over
now.
1.5, Billy. We're betting over 1.5. There's too many.
Now on this Bellator card, I hope the first fight won because I don't have the I have my computer like blocking the TV.
Let's get out of here. Let's go watch the.
Hey
fight.
guys,
All right,
it's
let's go watch
4:20 West Coast time. Y'all have a great freaking weekend. Smash the like if you haven't. 3 words when you cash your ticket.
Friday.
We be pubbing.